All right, TGI Friday, 4 topics today. I know I missed last week. That was by choice. I was not around, took a long holiday weekend. So let's get at it. Arbitration, the closing briefs are due Tuesday the 25th. It's fully expected that there will be a decision probably by the end of the month, if not shortly thereafter. We'll see where it goes. We feel pretty confident that we put on a phenomenal case in front of the arbitrator, provided witness testimony, documentation that refutes much of the city's position, shows that we were willing to negotiate, and from day one, which the city was never willing to do, did not come off its stance. Whatever happens, we are going to continue to fight this mandate. I think the house of cards all over this world is slowly starting to crumble, and the realization that these vaccines are not vaccines in the traditional sense in any way, shape, or form, and they should no longer be the beat-all to end-all answer for everything. There is a thing called natural immunity. There is also antibodies that are developed from having the COVID vaccine or the COVID virus prior to even getting a vaccine, whether you did or not, that are now being considered. As an example, the NCAA now considers athletes fully vaccinated if they had gotten the COVID virus 90 days prior, whether they're vaccinated or not. It's really that simple. These are things the city has never taken into account. These are obviously positions that have been put forth in front of the arbitrator, and I guess we see where we go from there. Topic 2. Sun-Times released an article 2 days ago about a lack of confidence in Superintendent Brown. I know you guys are all sitting at home shocked. Oh my God, I can't believe that people don't have faith in the superintendent or the leadership underneath him. Well, the mayor didn't like that. The reality is exempt rank members hid behind anonymous sources in the Sun-Times. And for that, I will agree with the mayor. They are cowards. If they really believe he is incompetent and destroying this department, they should hold a press conference. The worst that's going to happen to him is they'll have a CR for bringing discredit upon the department, whatever the case may be, and they'll be demoted to captain or lieutenant. But if they really gave a damn about this department and the men and women who serve underneath them, they'd stand up, show their faces, put their names on a piece of paper in front of a camera, and be counted. But that's not what they're doing. They're sniping from behind anonymous sources. Shame on them. But it still doesn't change what they're saying is true. And the mayor just doesn't give a damn. He is a ghost payroller. He is destroying this department. He has allowed Eric Carter to do the dirty work of the mayor, which only destroys morale even more. And it just trickles on down from there. But shame on every single one of them. I challenge them. Hold a press conference. You can even have it here. We'll organize it if you're willing to put your name and your face on the line. I highly doubt it's going to happen, because what they did with the portal and the counseling sessions have proven that they're all in it for themselves. Every single one of them. None of them have had the guts to stand up and say this is wrong. I will tell you this. I let you know earlier last year that we had disbanded the Family Auxiliary for financial reasons. There was some very strange expenditure issues, fundraising issues. So the board of directors voted to dissolve the Lodge 7 Family Auxiliary. At that time, there was money that was allotted to the auxiliary with very specific purposes. It was given in a will of a departed member to be used for retiree widows, survivors, and dispersed accordingly. We were not aware of that initially, but once we were made aware of that, it was very clearly outlined to the former head of our auxiliary that that money was not to be spent, especially once the auxiliary was disbanded. Those accounts were to be frozen and not used at all until we determined what we were going to do with those monies. Unfortunately, that person decided to avoid mail service, certified letters to her house, and any other contact, and decided to go ahead, even after being verbally and email told to not spend the money. She wrote checks for scholarships from the auxiliary in violation of the parent lodge's direction and the purpose of what that money was supposed to be. As such, we're asking any officers who received a scholarship from the Family Auxiliary to contact the lodge and let us know. You are not going to be responsible for that scholarship. It was given to you. That person is going to have to reimburse that money or we will be seeking criminal charges. I will be filing a case report next week if we don't get a remedy to this situation. It's sad it's come to this. We've tried to do it under the radar and kind of quietly. That has not been the case. They decided that they can do whatever they want, and they will have to, answer to that at some point. Lastly, today, the public safety, which is a joke, a sideshow in itself for city council. There's some great members there, but there's a joke of a chairman who is absolutely carrying the mayor's water. They were having a hearing to vote on Andrea Kirsten being appointed or approved to be going to full city council for approval to be the chief administrator going forward as a full-time instead of interim. There was a lot of pushback. There was a lot of sleight of hand and excuses being made. The head of the police board even decided to chime in. So if anybody thinks that this is all fair and square, you're out of your mind. They're in cahoots. He's literally coming to champion her appointment as the head of COPA when it is as inappropriate as could possibly be. But it certainly didn't stop him from doing it. He even admitted in his testimony that he's been on the police board over 10 years in violation. They're only supposed to serve to a maximum of 10 years, but he's still there. This whole sideshow is a joke. But at the end of the day, Chairman Taliaferro decided to take a 5-minute recess after all the questions were asked and all the testimony was given. And that was strictly to see where the votes were. And when the votes were not there, what did he do? We're going to retain it in committee. What a coward. What a pathetic coward he is, and doing the mayor's bidding. And he called himself a police officer. He should turn in his retirement credentials because he was no policeman. He's an errand boy for the mayor. And now they're going to sit on this till they can strong-arm some of the public safety members to change their vote possibly. Disgusting. But that is what's leading the city council right now. That is why we are going to make some noise this fall and summer in the state elections, and certainly next year in municipal elections. These aldermen need to go. There needs to be a purge of that city council in the worst possible way. Stay tuned. I'll let you know on Tuesday when the briefs are formally filed. We're still debating if we're going to post what our closing briefs were or not. It's a decision that hasn't been made yet. With that being said, have a safe weekend. Stay tuned.